A SOUQ morning to you once again this lovely Wednesday, and welcome to SOUQ Business Landscape, where a show where we talk about business headlines. We take a look at them, and of course, from various key business publications from across the world, from continent to continent, Nigeria to Africa, Asia to Europe, and the Americas. We don't miss anywhere, especially as it concerns us, is what we're looking at. How you can be a part of this, remember to follow us at SOUQ News TV, then check us out on YouTube and engage as these headlines pull out something in your mind, in your heart, and make you want to do something about that business, that investment, that development policy, right? Headlines from across the world as usual. My name is Hanks Mbah. And before we get right to it, I have my guest in the building. He's not my guest. I apologize. He's my analyst. You know, there's a difference. Guests look a certain way. Analysts look like this, right? The one, the only Chooks, John Rogers Chooks. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine. Good morning. I had to look up to see what I look like.
This is what an analyst look like.
People going for job interviews.
It's a conversation for another day, a whole nother day.
Okay, thank you very much. To our show.
People are waiting to.
Okay, happy SOUQ morning to everyone out there. It's a beautiful Wednesday, and I'm happy to be on SBL with Ikenna. Thank you for letting me come here.
Hands.
Apologies.
Not legs.
For those that don't understand, the young man is almost 7 feet tall. So when he says hands, we really mean it.
Not legs. Hands, please. All right. Hope you're doing good. We're about to jump right in and see what the business is going to be talking about outside of the protest.
Definitely, we are trying.
Very good. Very good. Very well indeed. We go right, of course, first and foremost, we go into business day in Nigeria. Debt service to revenue ratio drops to 74%, lowest in 5 years. Debt to service revenue. Debt, inflation, some of these words that are not working for businesses. How do you plead? Do you plead the fifth?
I plead. No, for this, it's better you plead guilty so that the judge can start looking for how to have mercy on you.
Mercy?
Yes, because
and not give you 2 life sentences.
Well, I did not accumulate the debt in the first place, so we are all guilty. Both those that took and those that didn't shout when it was being taken, and those that joined in the spending and joined in hailing those that did the taking, we are all guilty. That's where we are right now. We have to service this debts. We don't have an excuse. We took the loans, yes, so we have to pay back. And there are a whole lot of commerce and invited commerce and things we are not sure of, not privy to when these monies were given out.
Can I ask a hard question? What happens when we can't pay back these loans?
There are collaterals.
Like?
Well, they won't spell that out. Now, this is where we now need to start holding people responsible. Not accountable anymore. Hold them responsible. Because accountable, yes, I can account for it. But people should be held responsible. If you are negotiating any deal, any contract on behalf of any African nation, you should, as a matter of fact, put the interest of the nation first, not that particular thing you want to achieve with that money. Because who you're taking the money from in the first place is trying to make profit. And so there are some things that are not well spelled out to their favor, not to our favor. Now we are in debt. We are sinking in it.
You know, something Doc said on the show, one of the few times, you know, he was on last month. He said stuff about us having sold oil that we haven't even...
Definitely.
That's a problem.
It's not a problem. It's a catastrophe. It's a major one. Thanks for new oil blocks that are being moved right now, and well, should I use the word sold? Well, but it's something near to it. What the ordinary person will understand. Now, for these new oil blocks, let's do more of local companies going in there and getting those particular jobs, getting those exploration contracts, getting that those oil out, and also let's also look at being able to get at least 50 to 60% of every crude coming out from there for local refinery. So why we pay what we've taken and hold those that took responsible for if they spent well or if they did not spend well, then at least we can at least be able to cater for our people to an extent. Because the rate at which we owe right now is scary. And the people that give you are looking with their machetes. They will cut.
And cut they will. Still on business day. Business day Nigeria still. High interest rate slows aircraft purchase. Upgrade as well. Slows down both purchase and upgrade. So in the last 2 years, only a few airlines have been able to bring new aircrafts and upgrade their equipment, right? Due to the high interest paid on loans and obtained from banks. Stakeholders say double-digit interest rates on loans are hurting their profits. By extension, it's impeding their growth and fleet upgrade.
These are big companies, mind you. So if big companies have this issue, what will be happening to those solar?
No, but why do we do double-digit interest rates?
We're talking
Across board, it's always been single. How did it get there?
At a particular point in time in China, it was minus. Now you are thinking about like how is that possible? It was minus. Now this is where it is. Commercial banks, yes, they are for-profit banks, yes, but there is also a point at which government look and say, okay, good, for businesses to grow, we need banks that can cater for businesses, be them micro, be them small, be them medium, or be them big businesses. Big businesses, it doesn't matter where you fall. Double digits can not make you break even. It can't. Then you now start talking about those borrowing from outside the country, which most will have to do. Then all of a sudden you devalue the naira. The dollar goes all the way high up. Then they get into trouble. Serious trouble. So that's what they are going through. And the airlines are really feeling it.
You know, my worry is the loan part. Why it has to be, why loan has to bail. Seem like that's what's bailing the day. Like what takes the day? Why can't there be people? For instance, I know across board we have angel investors across board. Why can't people get together and invest in certain business and support? Invest in the sense that profit come, there's stakeholders share profit, partners share profit. Why does there have to be a loan? Because this loan issue is a problem.
Yeah, it's easier for smaller business and micro businesses to do angel investments, family investments, friends gather together. But for big businesses, you need those large chunk of big money.
That is not helping because the bigger the money, the larger the interest rates.
It depends on the country. That's where the issue is. Now, it's just like every big business borrows. It now depends on what is their partnership, what's their relationship with the bank that they are going to, because bank is there to give that big money to that big business that will turn it over, return the bank's money, and keep going. But on this side of the divide, we are having something different. Dangote, 70%, 50 to 70% of the money was borrowed. He has started repaying already. A lot of the big businesses around, but that's how it's supposed to be. But the interest is not favorable. And for the aviation industry, where most times theirs is a long-term kind of planning and business, they need interests that are sustainable and that can carry them. Owing to the fact that most of the equipment they buy also needs to be serviced, maintained. And sadly, all of this is not done anywhere near Nigeria.
So does that mean we need new businesses to cater to these little pockets of maintenance
But
needs?
yes, we need, but you have to bring them here.
That's what I'm saying. So we need those new businesses here. Okay,
Yes.
this new business is catering to this. This new business is catering to that, which in the long run all boils down to the airline running smoothly.
Yes, that's where we now need government to stamp their feet on the ground and put
So it must be in-house.
Yes.
All right, next headline, or actually next publication. Business Daily out in Kenya. We're looking at Munga transfers 1 billion shilling Britam shares in new trade. This is great news. So businessmen among a group of company founders, tycoons, invest vehicle now left with 9.8 PC stake. This is one of the first good news that I have read from Kenya in almost 2 months on the show.
Yeah, it's well,
1 billion shillings is not like you would say. I remember you say from time to time some of these headlines are for the optics, for the ops. So I hope this is not one of them. What do you think?
well, going by the headline and going by the picture
Of the guy.
picture of the man, we will say that he is a businessman. Even in all his philanthropy, he still wants to make profit. So definitely, he might be trying to see what he can do to help the economy out, because our economy right now needs help, for sure. So if he's putting that money into that economy, then good and fine. But he's also seeing where he can also make profit and invest in something. So we will wait to see where he's going to, where we start seeing the percentage of profit made and what the money is going to kickstart in that particular economy. But taking it out of the place that they called the name, I think I will smile on any day.
Right? Mm-hmm. Good news is good news.
Good news as long as it's coming into Africa.
All right, next headline. Juja leads Nairobi satellite towns in land price growth. So land price grew at the fastest pace among Nairobi suburbs and the satellite towns in the first 6 months of between January and July now, And this is highlighting the growing demand for affordable land by commercial developers. So developers are happy and the people are happy because housing becomes easy. Developers are happy that they can actually, invest in this, core areas that people like to live, and they're making their profits.
Yes, and also one of the indices you can use in testing if an economy is getting gingered to progress, to make a very good turn for the positive, and also see how well an economy is doing is the real estate industry, the real estate sector. Once that sector picks up and is doing well, then be sure that the trickle effect is going to go across board.
Really?
And yes,
it's happening in certain parts of Lagos here, but people are still
in certain
about
parts
to hit the streets.
in certain parts of Lagos for a few. And
It's my point exactly.
majority of that few is not within.
Outside.
Yeah, a lot of those sales are people outside that buy in.
So there's no profits. There's no
for
addition.
There is an addition.
Money sits.
Yes.
It comes and it just sits.
There is an addition, but now we need to make it bigger than what it is. Buyers should also be from within. Developers within, yes. Then now let's have.
I don't know about buyers from within. I don't know about that.
People need to have money in their pockets to buy. So give people investment options. Let the banks be able to, mortgages be able to open up and say, okay, good, come, we'll have the money. Give us evidence that we can spread it for you. So you now see that those within are also benefiting. Unlike those from outside that can just say, okay, give us 6 months, I will pay it off. So we just say, okay, how much? They'll pay it off. But how many?
Real estate is good business. We're on to another publication in South Africa this time. Business Day. US and SA, South Africa, agreed to revive trade deals. when they're doing, were they not well, both countries had agreed to reviving their bilateral trade and investment framework agreement governing trade relations between the two countries. This would be in addition to the African Growth and Opportunity Act, which gives designated products from sub-Saharan African countries preferential access to U.S. markets.
Oh, yeah?
They're already doing business together. How is this news?
Or it has to be news. It has to be news. There is nothing the U.S. will want right now.
Sorry, go ahead.
There is nothing the U.S. will want right now than getting South Africa on their side.
Aha. You said something on Monday.
Of course, it's still the same thing. There is nothing they want right now than getting South Africa on their side. AGOA has been on for more than 20 years. So why all of a sudden AGOA is now becoming very important?
So what's AGOA, by the way? For
the trade deal with African countries, where you can export for certain countries without tariffs, for certain countries reduced tariffs, open market for certain African goods to the U.S. market. That's basically what that was for. But now the issue is, U.S. is all about interest. This is where a lot of us here in Africa miss it. It's politics of it. When it comes to countries, they understand it. It's all about interest. Now, those leading us, do they understand that it's about country interest and not personal interest? So the U.S. will go all the way, give you all forms of waivers, pamper you, just to get you on their side. In the real sense of it, you are a market. Full stop.
You're not even human.
Come again.
You're not even human, because if the business goes bad, they go to the next person.
You are a market.
They leave you right there.
That is the market, where they bring to sell to you. Not you bringing to sell to them in the first place. So whatever you bring to sell to them, they're selling 100 to you, you're selling just 0.2 to them.
Wow. We need to learn, we need to be properly schooled in these matters. Next headline, Coronation warns water supply a risk to investment. So Coronation's asset manager has warned that water shedding incidents are on the rise outside the Western Cape Town, and the city of Gauteng is particularly affected. This, he says, threatens potential investment flows in the area. So why are they saying, is it when they say water shedding?
Water like water.
Do they just mean, shouldn't they have just said flood?
No, not just the flood. Water like water. Now, humanity have come a long way. Once upon a time, water was a basic necessity. Everybody had access to water. Nobody can come and claim water. But right now, some governments have gone to the extent of saying water bodies and what under belongs to government. It's even in a bill somewhere in Nigeria, mind you. So that is what we are saying now. So somebody is now telling you use less water. Because somebody needs to control water. And if this is where environmentalists come in. This is where people need to, well, it doesn't matter the divide where you are on. It's the responsibility of government to provide potable water. So as long as the citizens are paying tax.
Going by what you have said, so doesn't that make them in right standing to say it belongs to them, because they have the obligation to provide it?
Now, see where the issue is.
So how do you provide what you don't own, what you don't have?
Now, see where the issue is. The river in your village, what that means is at the end of the day, if you have to do anything in the river in your village, you have to go and take permission. Is it sinking in now?
So why the permission?
Oh, why? But you just said don't they own it because they
because I don't think it's a proper thing. You know, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, if that fact remains that they should provide, that it's their obligation.
Yes.
Then they're moving slow to cross that. You know how you have that blurry line, so they're crossing it to want to own it.
Can somebody own air?
We're talking cloud now. Remember, we're talking cloud now.
That's where we are right now. A lot of North American countries, they've been fighting this particular bill for a long time, and governments around there and private entities have been also working hard because they're seeing business in it, controlling what everybody needs, water bodies and coal. So you can't drill a borehole without permission. That is a given now. So you can't also treat water in large quantity without permission. So what if somebody tells you can't drink without permission? Okay, that's the extreme part. Don't hold me on that.
Maybe that's when what you said, one of the things you've said on the show will come to play. You know, the people would hold them responsible.
The people are not responsible yet.
All right, Financial Express Bangladesh. Global funds eyeing US. Don't miss this golden chance, the Prime Minister says. So is it that the Prime Minister is talking to themselves?
Yes, they are saying global funds are eyeing us. They are eyeing us. If you think your money is good, better bring it to us. That's just where it is.
I just love the Bangladesh Prime Minister. The way that they're moving out there is enviable. It's really enviable. I might consider moving out there, you know.
Just let me know when you're going. Because I'll definitely tag along.
All right. Shebi cracks down on F&O frenzy. That's the bank. That's their bank. Their own CBN out there, and they're cracking down on certain businesses that are going to frenzy. Well, next publication, Gulf Times Business. So we're in Qatar now. Oredo Group normalized net profits jumps 14% to 1.9 billion reals in the first half of the year.
I'm just opening my hands and saying, why not? That's just all we can just say, like, why not? That's the destination of a lot of investments right now.
Qatar, right?
Yes, that's that Middle East bloc. And if you also observe, you tend to ask yourself, why are they very peaceful? Unlike some other sides of that bloc. From Qatar to Oman to UAE to Saudi Arabia to lower part of them, they are all very peaceful and they do everything possible
for it to stay that way.
For it to stay that way. Because they see progress, they plan for progress, and they are intentional about it. So these are things we need to emulate.
Africa. All right. Qatar records 543 building permits issued in June.
Not small buildings, not face me and face.
You know, this is something that, but do they have such problems in that area? Because I know we have that. That is rife in Nigeria. Let me not say Africa by extension. But over there, should this be an issue?
No, it's not an issue. It's more like what they just try is everybody sells.
543.
Yeah, people are selling their country in different ways. So they're also telling that, hey, in 30 days, these are the edifices that are getting permits. Whether they're about to be built or they've been built or commissioned, but in 30 days. So people are selling and telling you to come in different ways. So tell me why investment won't go there.
Great stuff. Financial Times, London. Reeves warns budget will raise taxes as row over 22 billion euro fiscal hole deepens. So the Chancellor has warned that the UK is supposed to expect tax rises. She's telling them ahead of time, you know, in her forthcoming budget. So this cost a row, obviously, in the House as she had that. And she mentioned that this would happen if and when she gets into dropping the budget and making it known for everyone. And she claims that she had inherited, you know, debts, which is where the 22 billion euro fiscal hole comes into play. Now she was asked which areas of this tax is.
Who are you going to tax?
And she declined to give details. And she says, but it will not affect value-added tax, it will not affect national insurance, and it will not affect income tax. So what will it affect?
Well, if I am asked this question, it will affect VAT, it will affect income tax, which is already high in the first place. It will also affect one other one. Then who is left is big businesses. Big businesses and foreigners.
Wow.
That's just my thinking, though.
Now, you see, one of the reasons why big business seem to be doing so well is because, or rather, why government leans toward the big businesses. They are the ones that seemingly would profit them. The small
Definitely.
businesses, what are you going to do for us? Quote and unquote, okay. At most, how many people can you employ? At most, how much tax are you paying? That's
Yeah,
how
but
I feel
the small businesses help government the most, taking away unemployment.
They don't see it.
They better say, no, they see it. So they won't tax the small business that much, knowing fully well that if you aggregate the small businesses, they employ more than even the big businesses. But the big businesses make the profit. That's where the money is.
Okay. Business Post in India this time. S&P downgrades Bangladesh's credit ratings from BB minus to BB plus. And do you have anything to say about this? No.
It doesn't matter what you say about them, they are on the roll.
US dollars price hiked to 119 lakhs. Well, we've come to the end of the show for today. Thank you.
There was something we missed.
What did we miss?
That's for those in Nigeria, the complaint and, like call it complaint, observation of planes not going to a lot of airports right now.
You know, that was such a sad news that it purposely was not.
You just...
Yes, it was omitted deliberately.
Yeah.
Yes. So we talked about headlines and some positivity. That wasn't too positive. Right. It's still Hanks Mbah on SOUQ Business Landscape with you. Continue the engagement with us at SOUQ News Television. And remember, the hashtag is SBL. Stay tuned for more programming as we let you know. We'll hook up same time on Friday, 7 a.m. Have a lovely morning.